Okay, we're live.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Thanks for sticking with us through some technical stuff, but it wouldn't be the Venture Maidens without it. So, hi, everybody. Welcome. Look, we're all back. It's so great to have everybody back.
It's awesome.
Yay. Are you guys ready? Are you guys excited?
I'm ready.
Excited.
Break me free.
I know. Hi. I'm sorry, Nassim. We're starting this game with you in jail.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
What have you done? Okay. All right. I am going to officially lower my chat now that we are live. You all are too funny. All right. Sending that away. Okay. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 35 of the Venture Maidens podcast. I am your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I'm your elven warlock, Arna Yalathanil, played by Brittany.
And I'm Nassim, playing Sawyeh and Ranna, your human monk in captivity.
And I'm Sage, and I play Kara, the most distrustful of Rem.
Yeah. Oh, man, my NPC is just getting such a bad rap. You guys have sent so much hate for Rem over all social media in the last few days.
Man.
Thank you, everyone, for that.
What happened? What? I watched the last episode. Why?
Are you sure you watched the last episode?
Why are we hating on her?
People are just...
She took over someone's body.
Anyway, so that's actually a good segue. Let's talk about the recap of what happened. I know, Nassim, you got to watch it, but, you know, most of the pressure is on you, Brittany and Sage. So what happened last time on the Venture Maidens podcast?
Oh, man. It started right after the crash, and we were poking around the nearby forest for clues to see what the hell happened to Sawyeh and Floaty Blue Fur Boy.
Rana.
For
Jeez.
Sawyeh and Ranna, who were nowhere in sight, and we had noticed a set of tracks leading off that were kind of like a large snake, like a really big snake.
A big snake.
And people tracks, and we started following those. And then Arnie got visited by some debt collectors.
Yep, the tax man, the repo man came.
The repo man came.
Can we also make sure that we are very clear? Arnadil had no idea that she signed up for a contract. This is all news to her. And then Kara's like, what do you mean? Don't you, like, where did you think you got all those powers from? And Arnold's like, I don't know. I fucking read a lot. So just to make it exponentially clear, this is some fine print loan shark bullshit that Arnold's like.
In very, very tiny print on the scale. It was so, like, only you needed to be able to read Braille in order to actually know it was there.
But it was there.
Could we say that it was sneaky like a snake?
It was
sneaky like a slither little sneaky snake.
Oh, so Slytherin there. Oh, wow. It's so snaky.
Yeah, so the repo men, the Yanti, like, dream speakers?
Mind Whisperers?
Mind Whisperers.
Though Dream Whisperers might be one of them. All the Yanti have very similar names, and there are like 20 different kinds. So
Whispers, slithering, hissing,
dream.
I'm uploading an image of one as we speak, so stand by. That'll come soon.
And they're like, yo, you've got a debt to pay. And Arnie was like, nah, dog. I don't think so.
Well, no, I was like, yeah, I'll come, but also like my friends have to come too. They're gonna help me. And they're like, no. And I'm like, fuck you.
And then we started to fight them.
Yes. And then two more of their buddies showed up.
Two more of their buddies showed up. We were hacking, slashing, spell slinging away. And then out of nowhere, out of the trees, or like way high up in the trees, these other people came who were kind of hard to see because the trees are super tall and Kara is very tiny. And they sniped the dream speakers. Not dream speakers, mind
whisperers. God damn it.
Mind whisperers, like out of nowhere.
I have so many tabs of Yanti, you guys. This is gonna get nuts. And I'm drinking IPAs, so it's gonna be getting lit. Gotten lit.
Yes, and yeah, so they were elven people from the woods who have been cast off here for a long ass time because the Eladrin are assholes. They basically were like, "Oh, here's your trail of tears. Go enjoy some land.
Go cry on it.
Go cry on it. Grow your own forest."
Yep.
Cry me a forest, you stupid elves.
Do you remember the lead scout's name?
Oh, what was it? Do you remember what it was, Brittany?
I do not. I'm so sorry.
Miley.
Miley, that's right. Miley. And...
Wait, like Maya Lee or
yes.
Miley?
Maya Lee, which is a proper elvish name.
Indeed.
And yep.
She led us back, and we learned that it was a tree full of only women elves, which Kara found very enticing.
The Amazon tree hut forest.
She's like, "Oh, I could learn to get the heights up here."
Oh my.
And then we met the head tribe lady.
Do you remember her name?
Sure don't.
Oh, the Thalia.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a cheater. It's because I asked Celeste right before we went live.
I wasn't gonna tell on you.
Now the whole internet knows.
No. And what happened during that conversation? Some shit happened.
Oh God. Arnold's gonna want to talk about this later for sure, but we witnessed. So first of all, we saw that Rem has a past with these wood elves. Thalia was like kept calling Rem the Grave One, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And we're like, who the fuck? And then without many words exchanged, because Rem still didn't have a mouth, Thalia's like, follow me. And then here's the basically comatose body of her daughter, one of her daughters.
Who's Miley's sister.
Miley's sister, right? Who's clearly been comatose for a very long time. And Arnadil did a quick detect magic and could sense that there's the only thing keeping this young elf alive was magic. Her life force just really was hanging in there by a thread. So Thalia was like, just take her body. It would do me a great honor if you could take her body. And then Rem did, and we're all just like, okay.
Yay, that's a thing.
We've got some questions. Miley was not having it for very understandable reasons. And then without very much time to discuss anything, Arnadil felt it very necessary to pull Thalia aside and explain herself a little bit. And she was like, listen, I don't want people to die unnecessarily. This is my problem. And then before Arnadil could really finish, there was 2 arms.
That's right.
Yeah, all the elves started screaming outside and manning battle stations. So... Okay, yeah, that's it. A lot of stuff happened last episode, but for this episode, where we're actually going to start is with Sawyeh, who has been missing since the top of last episode. So Sawyeh, the first thing you experience, your head hurts a lot. There's a big crack in the back of it, maybe somebody had hit you over the head or something, and you find yourself groggily coming to. And then the next thing you notice is a strong discomfort in your shoulders as you become aware that you are hanging, chained up against a wall with your hands suspended above your head, and you feel cold stone against your back. And your feet, if you stretch them out a little bit, barely touch the floor. So you're hung in this totally suspended, horrible position. And out in front of you, you see that there is a dark cave. You see that from somewhere gray sunlight is streaming down further down in the cave, but not enough to illuminate this room. And that's you. You can't see. What would you like to do?
Is there a way for me to activate? Oh, I don't have any of my stuff on me, huh? Do I look around? I don't have any of my stuff with me?
You do not have any of your stuff on you.
Fuck.
You have your clothes. Even your butt cape is gone.
No.
They took the butt cape.
No. Oh shit. Okay. I wanna, I don't know, make a spot check, see if I can discern any other light, or
You
if
mean
there's...
a perception check?
Yes, a perception check.
Yay, 3-5. Okay. Yep, go ahead.
18.
Okay, yeah. So you think maybe it was like the wooziness of your head in this whole situation, but you kind of clear your thoughts a little bit, and that gray light begins to adjust more and more. So you can make out that the size of the cavern you're in is probably about a 40 by 40 foot cavern. You can see that the gray light is actually coming from down a hallway that seems, so there seems to be another cave on the other side. And as you look at the ground, you can see shadowed like shapes that are scattered around, so it looks like objects have been strewn across the floor. And then you just crane your head over to the left, and you make out the shape of another body that's hanging on the wall about 5 feet away from you. And to the right, you see the glint of some empty manacles that are still on the wall.
Okay.
And at this point, you hear a voice. Are you all right? Coming from the person on the left.
Do I recognize it as Ranna?
Yes. His terrible British accent? Yes. I'm sorry, British people.
Yeah, she says, yeah, I think I'm okay. My head kind of hurts, but I don't remember how we got here. How long have you been awake?
Not long, maybe 5 minutes. I haven't seen anyone come in or out, but fuck, my head hurts.
Yeah. Same, bro. I'm gonna see what I can do to wiggle out of these chains.
Okay.
I want to try and do some kind of like back. Let's see. I'm trained that way, so I want to try and like get my legs like underneath me against the wall behind me and like push myself away from the wall.
Okay. So to like give leverage
to
pull them out of the wall. Okay. So go ahead and give me a okay, give me an acrobatics first, and that'll determine if I give you advantage on your strength check.
Okay. 23.
Okay. Yeah, so you will get advantage on this strength check you are about to make because you've positioned and pulled yourself appropriately.
18.
Okay. So you go and you are leaning your whole weight against it, and you hear the chains groan against the wall. And one of them sort of gets loose, but the chains are definitely still bolted into the wall. This is a rough spot. So you are still attached to the wall, but you have your leverage. Perhaps I can do something to help. And you hear a whispered word, and then the chains that are around your wrists become very suddenly very, very cold. And you see the crackling of ice actually forms over them. And the metal, it just almost seems like it's more brittle now as this intense freezing cold travels over them. Try again.
Okay. Another strength check?
Yep. With advantage.
So that means I roll again, right?
Yeah.
Because I just rolled a natural one.
Oh, no.
With advantage. So re-roll.
And that was a natural 20.
Yay, advantage. So with the ice, those chains just shatter completely. They just snap. Like metal that's just been out in the cold for too long just completely falls apart. So now you still have the manacles attached to your wrists, but the chains are broken on either side, so you can hop down to the ground.
Okay. I want to search all the shadowy things on the ground and see if they're what they are, if they're my things, or try and find my things.
Okay. So you begin rooting around and you hear you're a great big strong monk and all, and I would really appreciate perhaps some assistance. And you see Ranna is sort of just pulling feebly like against the wall.
I'm waiting to get all of my things first.
Okay.
My stuff first.
All right.
I don't know when these guys are gonna come back. I just want to make sure that there's no evidence.
Okay. He sighs and slumps against the wall. Make an investigation check.
16.
Okay, so you are rooting around on the ground, and more of the light, as you're getting accustomed to the dark, you can see more. You notice that on the floor, as your hands are finding around, you find like sticky patches of substance that you realize are lines that have been painted onto the floor that make out some kind of shape. You can't see what it is exactly, but most of the items that are scattered around, you find candles, you find bones. You cut your finger on a dagger, like all of this just kind of ritual-esque stuff that has been scattered around the chamber. You don't see or feel your gear.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And Ranna has started whistling a shitty tune at this point. Just waiting.
Yeah, okay, I'm coming. We need to get the fuck out of here because I think there's some kind of ritual that's about to happen.
You don't say.
So I start to help him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength, and he will do the cold trick again.
17.
Okay. Yeah. So especially with your additional leverage, and he is helping you, you just shatter the chains the same way you did. So the two of you are standing there now, and that you see that there is a hallway on the far side of the room that the gray light is coming from.
That's the only other hallway?
Yes.
Okay, I grab one of the candles that are down on the ground for some light and make my way towards it. I think we should go on this
Don't forget, you also have your globe. Oh wait, you don't.
Yeah.
I took all your stuff from you.
I don't got nothing.
You don't have nothing.
I don't even have my butt cape. Okay.
I know they took the butt cape. Why? It's just excessive. All right, so you light up one of these candles, and you can see now that the room is illuminated. There is a large pentacle that has been created in the center of the floor. It looks like it's been wiped down with human blood, or blood, you don't know if it's human. And then there are a bunch of these strange arcane sigils all surrounding the circle. It's this extremely complicated, but it looks sort of messy. Like maybe this ritual already happened.
Okay.
And you guys were just like put in here as an afterthought. Ranna is taking all this in, is just like, God, we do need to get out of here, and quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I can go ahead. I'm pretty sneaky.
Sure. I'll enjoy the view from back here.
Oh Lord.
Okay. I mean, I can't really see anything in here. Do you have dark vision? Maybe you should go ahead.
Dark vision? No.
Hold on to those buns, girl.
I'm a genasi. I do not have dark vision.
Oh, okay.
Well, then... if I was a fire, but I'm not. I'm air. Sorry, I can levitate.
Oh. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, is it?
I had so much fun on that carriage. Well, until we crashed.
Oh, God. I'm gonna have to get a new carriage. I spent a lot of time on that. Anyway, this isn't the time or place. Let's go. You go ahead.
All right. Okay, let's go. She runs forward.
Okay. All right. And so you run into this hallway, and you see another much larger chamber opens up. This one has so it's like a two-tiered kind of cavern. As you wake up or walk in, you are on the ground floor, and then you see that there's a ledge structure that goes all the way around the rest of the cavern, sort of up like a ramp. And at the far side of the cavern, up this ramp, you can see that that's where the gray light is coming from. So it looks like a cave mouth going outside. And you see all along the ramp, there are a row of iron cages. There are like 4 or 5 of them that have been just stuffed against the wall. All of them appear empty except for one. You see one has a huddled little mass inside of it, but you'd have to get closer to see exactly what it is. The rest of the cavern is just strewn with like bones and dust, and there's some furniture that was in here, but it looks like it's been knocked over or the place has been cleaned out.
I want to go up to the little huddled mass and investigate.
Okay. So you walk up to the cage and you see what looks like a small child is shoved in like one of the corners, just rolled up in a tight ball against the back wall of the cavern, dressed in like gray, dirty rags. You can see, you think it might be a little boy. He has dark skin and like really buzzed hair. And as you approach, he doesn't turn towards you. He just flinches and like draws himself tighter down into the ball, so he's not looking at you.
Oh, I put the candle down and I sit cross-legged in front and I go, "Hi, are you hurt anywhere?"
The kid, at hearing your voice, kind of freezes for a moment, and then he uncurls himself and turns to look at you. He's got these big, beautiful, like brown eyes as he turns and just makes eye contact with you. And you see that he's got bruises and scrapes all along his face. And he turns and he opens his mouth and sort of makes a, and you can see that his tongue has been cut out.
Oh my god!
And but it looks like healed over like a stump, so it wasn't recent. And then he looks at you with big confused eyes and just looks up at Ranna behind you, and Ranna says, "Child, we can get you out of here. Just do you know where the keys may be, or perhaps where they're keeping our equipment?" And the kid is just staring up and looks around and then points at the far side, down below at the cavern.
Okay. I go down towards the cavern, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ranna does the same thing and looks around, and he starts tapping on walls. Why don't you go ahead and give me an investigate check?
18.
What'd you get?
18.
Oh yeah, you did way better than Ranna. Ranna's trying. He's walking around, but he's like, "Is this a rock? I don't do rocks."
He's distracted by that booty.
Oh my god, so not the time.
See, this is why butt capes come in handy.
Yeah, for your modesty.
Keep things professional.
All right, so you start tapping and looking at the rocks, and then you find that one of them is indeed a false rock wall, and you can slide it open, and you see what looks like a little storeroom that's just been stuck in this wall, and there are a bunch of different items crammed in there. It looks like there are a bunch of sealed jars, basic supplies like wax, and there are scrolls and all kinds of stuff, and you see your pack and another bag that's light blue and emblazoned with swirling wind patterns shoved into one corner.
Okay. I grab my stuff and anything that looks useful to open the cage, like a key or like an axe or something like that.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigate check for me.
Natural 20.
Damn. All right, dude. So you're just looking around, and you find that one, there's a sack of flour that is open, unlike the other ones. And you go and you're like, "That's odd." And you stick your hand in it, and inside a ring of keys is hidden in the flour. And you find them, because natural 20s are stupid. All right.
Ronan.
Yep. So, Ranna is like, "Oh, wow, you really are efficient." And he goes in and picks up his bag and just carries it with him. He seems to make it disappear. You don't know where it goes. But
all right, I run back to the cage and quickly unlock.
Okay. And the kid is just staring at you with just astonishment as you do so. And the minute you open the cage, he looks down at you, and then he spends a minute like standing in the cage and shaking his head, and then he takes a step outside, and he like shudders and looks around as if to see like anything bad is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't, and you see he starts crying. And then Ranna comes over and like takes his little hand and is like, all right, let's get out of here and fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Earth boy?
Huh?
The little Earth elemental boy?
No, he's a human boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so you begin to make your way towards the exit. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Oh, that wasn't as good. Because it was a 10.
Okay, let's see what Ranna gets. 14. Okay, so Ranna, as you're make your way up this ramp to the entrance, he throws out a hand and like stops you, grabs your shoulder, and makes a shh. And as you begin to listen, you hear the sound of hooves and something that's breathing, very kind of making a sound like coming from just beyond the mouth of the cave. So like a snorting sound and a stamping coming from just beyond the exit. And we're gonna jump over to our other companions. All right.
Excellent.
So Kara and Arnadel, you guys had been speaking to Thalia and so Rem and Kara, you guys were talking, having this weird conversation.
Indeed.
Which was super productive. And then Arnadel and Thalia had come downstairs, and it was just at that moment when you were all back and assembled that you would begin to hear the sound of people screaming from outside, and elves running around. You can see outside the windows, women are just grabbing longbows, and from those 4 sentry posts that you saw, they're all moving outside these cabins and basically drawing their bows and pointing at something coming from the west. So chaos, and you all are inside this building right now. What would you like to do?
Kara would immediately run out, find the most in charge looking person firing a bow, and what's going on?
So
what do I hit?
So that would be Miley, who is right outside.
Right.
She was standing guard, so she was the one leading the patrol from before, and now they all have these incredibly beautiful carved longbows that look like they're made of this white, almost silver wood. You've never seen anything like it. And they are all trained with precision. It looks like nobody has fired a shot yet. Everybody is sort of just crouched, and there's like that before battle feeling. So everybody has fallen silent now that the alarm has passed and everybody is ready. And go ahead and make a perception check for me.
9.
Okay. So you're like, what's going on? And Miley's like, the snake people, they're coming. Can't you hear them?
No, I got a lot of mud in my ears from earlier.
She
the carriage crashed.
Rolls her eyes in that shitty teenager way and is like, look. And she points down at the ground, like at the base of the tree. And you see, now that she's pointing it out to you, you're high above it, but this strange 2-legged, it just basically looks like a lizard or like a mini T-Rex is sort of what it looks like. And it's just hovering around the base of the tree, and it's doing like a bunch of these circles and kind of sniffing and scratching. And now that you notice, you see the other 3 trees have one of these things around it.
Just curious, I'm asking for a friend. How high up is this base?
So let's see. Let's call the trees, I don't know, like let's say 60 feet up.
Okay.
Because they're big ass trees.
Yeah, fair.
Asking
right.
for a friend who might just throw themselves off the tree.
Yeah, you know, as one might do.
Like you do. And you so Arnadel, from inside you see Thealia addresses you and Rem both. It seems they found us instead of us finding them. That is fine. What did you do, girl, to bring down this kind of wrath?
I don't even know. Where do you want me? Where should I go?
I think you should let our warriors handle this. Stay safe inside. Protect Rem. And then Rem shakes her head. It's no, give me a bow. And she tries to stand up, and she's still like from that the weakened coma body. She kind of like falls forward onto the table.
Kara
and,
like pushes her like into a chair, and it's like, you need to stay put, Commander, and let other people fight. It's fine. Hang out with Arnie and make sure she's safe.
I'm not gonna just sit here and hide. I'm going to fight.
And Rem gives you a level-headed stare, Kara, and then sighs and shakes her head in appreciation, and then looks over at you, Arnadel. That may not be the wisest decision. If they are after you, you certainly can't put yourself right in their grasps.
So I'm gonna sit back and let everybody else die until
ain't nobody dying on my watch, Cupcake, all right? And she turns to Miley. Where do I get one of these bows? I imagine the bows are like as tall as she is.
Yeah, they're definitely, they're like the really long fucking bows. And Miley looks stunned at you and like shakes her head at one of her other friends. Get the dwarf a bow. Let's see if she can handle it.
I knocked a few things in my life. I've knocked boots and I've knocked arrows.
Okay. And then, so one of the elves is like, what? And then goes running off inside one of the 4 huts and comes back and sure enough gives you one of these bows, puts it in your hands.
Kara she puts on the expression of, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Well, Kara's proficient, right?
Yeah, she is. She is.
You probably have to shoot it sideways.
Yeah, she's like a G.
Yeah, so it's more like you're a personal ballista as you're firing. That's amazing. And at this point, you all notice that on the ground, more and more of these small little T-Rex creatures. Here, let me see if I have a...
Oh, they look so weird. I've never seen
They're like
those before.
dinosaur humanoids with these long, lolling pink tongues and large claws.
Are those the dream speakers?
No, I showed you the mind whisper dream. Fuck, man, I don't even know. Fucking Yanti. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so a bunch more of them have started to come and accumulate, and now you begin to hear these little like chittering sounds that are coming from the base.
Yeah, they're just having like a birthday party and we're just crying.
Oh my god. Arnadel is so not okay with people telling her that she can't fight, and it's like, you stay hidden. So she's like, you know what, fuck you, and she's gonna cast invisibility and make her way downtown, down the tree trunk to walking fast to the motherfucking front line.
She's
homebound.
Front of the lines bound.
Okay, all right. So you cast invisibility.
Yes.
And so the way you got up here was with a big rope ladder that unfurled from the side of the platform. So do you want to unfurl that?
I think if I take an action like that, I don't know, does that count as an action? Will that make my invisibility go away?
I think you just attack to make your invisibility go away. I don't think it's just taking actions.
Tight. Then I will, I'm going to move.
Casting a spell or attacking something violent against someone.
Yeah.
So, but interacting with objects will let me maintain.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. I do that.
So you start doing that while everybody else is begins one elf from the platform across begins like a ha, like a note, and then all of the bows in conjunction and pull back, and then just barrages of arrows start shooting into these little lizard creatures that are just dotting around, and you see most of them like strike through the head and the throat, and these creatures are like ah, and like blood is just coming out everywhere. But these things are like frenzied now after this first bout, and you see that they dig in their claws and they begin climbing up the trees like these little scatter monkeys.
Oh boy, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Come at me, bro.
What? All right, so let's go ahead and do some initiative just to keep things simple.
Yes. 17.
Okay. I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. I lied. That's a 16 because I suck at math.
Stop lying to
It's
me.
a 16.
Why? Okay.
Cheating.
All right, and then all the elves. Wow, natural one. That's
tight. Hey, it's a well-rounded. It's all spaced out.
And then all my Yanti. Okay. All right, so Kara, you have the first move. So it looks like now 3. So you remember there were the 4 stations that were surrounding this kind of central building. So you guys are at the central building right now. And then tangled tree trunks. Remember the branches had grown out to connect. Those are all out right now and connecting the 4 platforms. And so it looks like each tree has about like 3 of these little creatures that are climbing up it right now, and you see that there are more kind of scattering around the forest at the base.
So none of them have reached the platform yet that are climbing up?
Correct.
Okay, so she's going to take a couple of shots at ones on the ground that she can see.
Cool. One's on the ground or one's climbing the trees?
One's climbing the trees. Closest, okay. Closest one climbing the tree.
Sure. So you can just fire right straight down. You got a clear shot over the edge.
Perfect, because I got 23.
Hell yeah.
Longbows are D8?
Yes. No, these are D12s.
Oh shit, these are intense longbows.
These are special elf D.
All right. 11 damage.
Whoo, okay. I'm gonna say that you just shoot this thing perfectly, and it's already got an arrow that was stuck in its head from the first barrage. So you just shoot this thing right down. It goes nah and looks up at you with its big mouth, and you just shoot this arrow right down, and you see it go through the back of its throat, and the creature just like makes a gurgling sound as it falls off the tree like 20 feet to its death.
She's gonna take a shot at another one.
Do it again.
And she makes sure to look at surrounding elves, be like, "Did you see that? I did that."
And they are all so fucking busy doing their job that nobody pays attention to you.
Fair enough. She feels a sense of self-pride.
You know that you did great.
I got a 15 for my second hit.
Okay, yes. These things only have 14 AC, so...
Sweet, and then another 3 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so this one, you don't get as great a shot, so now it has, like, 2 arrows sticking out of it, and it keeps, like, and coming and crawling up. And these things seem to have no problem climbing at all with these big-ass claws. Okay. Anything else?
And then as she gets so full of pride that she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember how to shoot a bow. I did this in dwarf camp." And she gets so just like hyped, and she bonus action rage.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And you hear Miley call at this point, "Off the main platform. We're going to retract the. What the fuck is that word?" She yells. What's that word?
Retreat.
Bridge. We're gonna retract the bridges. Fuck! And she shoots one because she's upset because she couldn't remember the word.
Kara will follow after them.
Okay, yeah. So they all start scattering to the 4 different stations. So basically, they're gonna pull the bridges so that if enemies climb up, they can't run over to the main area.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So which one would you like to run to?
The next closest one that still has a dude climbing up.
Okay, so they all have dudes climbing up, and you're in the middle of a square.
Oh, I see. I'll go like lower right.
Okay, so southwest. Okay. Got it. All right, and then Brittany. So you are still invisible, and did you want to throw down the rope ladder?
I guess I'm in my mind. I envisioned I was just sliding down a rope.
Okay.
How far down am I, or how far down is it to the ground?
60 feet.
Okay. I might. So I've used one. Where are you? I can cast another spell as long as it's not concentration.
Yes, as long as you're not hurting someone. Otherwise, the invisibility drops.
So I'm going to use up my second spell slot to cast Dimension Door to teleport myself down to the ground without having to give an access point up.
Got it.
Cool. So I Dimension Door down while remaining invisible.
So are you booping down right to the bottom of the tree?
Yes, to the ground. So I can cast spells like crazy.
Got it. All right. So these, you see that now that you're on the ground, you are right by the body of the one that Kara shot.
Mm-hmm.
These things are horrible. They look like twisted snake lizard versions of what people used to be. They've got these strange humps and scales, and they smell vaguely like corpses. You think just because this one's dead, that's not the smell. You think they all smell like that. It's awful. And you see that two are climbing up the tree trunk still ahead of you. And then there aren't any running around in this area so much, but you can see around the square of the village that there are a bunch more of these things just hovering off in the trees, like seemingly waiting to see how this first assault goes.
May I do I'm going to activate my detect magic vision.
Okay. All right. So these things are not magical. But you do see off in the distance, so the trees like on the west side, there is something big, bad, and magical that is moving towards this spot. You can't see, it's obscured by the trees, but you get an aura coming from off that way.
Okay, I'm going to position myself as tactically advantageous as possible underneath the tree to my friends and just wait for my fucking turn.
Okay. All right. So you are tactically positioned, and none of the lizards seem to have noticed you yet. Okay, and then we have the Yonti's turn. All right. So at this point, the small lizard things, they make their way up to the top of the platforms, and the bridges at this point begin to start receding away. So there are two of these creatures that are left like on the platform itself. All the other elves have run away, and you see Thealia up top. She just seemingly comes out of nowhere and starts doing battle with these two creatures that are like pushing themselves forward and trying to attack her. So that's going on up there. And then you see now all the other ones are just hopped up on top, and just people have some elves have put down their bows and started drawing swords and are just going to town battling these things. And then you all begin to hear a roaring sound coming from the west. It's like a hissing, booming scream. It's like nothing you've ever heard, and you hear many echoes of it come after and after, and you see that crashes out of the trees a huge, literally huge from the monster manual. It is the body of a snake with sort of the torso of a humanoid with these long clawed hands, and you see 5 serpent heads conjoin out of the neck. And so it's this 5-headed beast that just comes from the tree line, and you see a bunch of these little lizards things like scatter away in horror, as this thing is passing through. So this thing easily stands 30 feet tall. So it would just have to wipe a hand up top to hit the huts above. And so that crashes through. And then you hear a bunch of the elves go, fuck! And they start making short work of the brood guards. That's what they're called. Sorry, the lizard things are brood guards.
I see.
Whatever. So the bridges start retreating, and the brood guards up top are all slain by the elves, but then they hastily pick back up their bows and are just looking at this thing coming from the distance. Okay, and then let's jump back over to Sawyeh. All right, so you guys just heard something at the mouth of this cave.
Yeah. So we're just hearing it. We don't quite see it, right?
Right. So it's like just on the outside, you think? Maybe it's guarding the outside of this cave mouth.
Okay. I want to get a couple darts ready.
Okay.
And then sneak up to the entrance of the cave.
Okay.
Should I do like a sneak
stealth
check?
Would be great.
Stealth. So 16.
Okay. You're sneaky as fuck.
Sneaky as fuck. And so do I see yet what the creature is that's walking back and forth?
Yeah. So you creep up to the mouth of this cave, and so the mouth itself, it's very small and it's a rocky overhang. You think if you were passing by in the forest, you probably wouldn't see this, which makes it so kind of gives you the perfect vantage point to creep out and see what exactly is patrolling the front area. You see a large four-legged creature that looks like a bull, but it's covered in these almost metal-like plates, and you see these two big horns emerging from the top of it, and it's just like hitting the ground with its hooves and stamping back and forth and letting out you see this breath is coming out of its nose. It looks like green vapor.
Ooh. Oh. Fuck. She just showed me a real scary bull looking thing.
That was a picture.
Okay. I would like to aim for that creature's ass. That
aim
for a butt to the dart, or a dart to the butt. Excuse me.
Good.
One glass of wine, people.
Oh man.
A dart to the butt, and in hopes that it'll freak it out and it'll run away.
Sure. Okay. So Ranna has actually creeped up next to you at this point. What are you going to do? Are you going to attack?
Yes. I'm going to spook the thing.
Okay. With those? He looks curiously at the darts in your hand.
It's worked before. Trust me.
All right. You're the boss. He kind of backs up a little bit and waits for whatever you're about to do. All right. So go ahead and roll to hit.
To hit, that was a 22.
Oh man, that'll do it.
So right for the asshole.
So it's covered in metal plates. So if you hadn't aimed for the asshole, I don't think this would have worked. But there you go. Just get it in there. All right, roll your damage.
Fuck yeah. That is 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay, so this creature lets out this sound. And you see this big like gust of green just smoke comes out of its mouth. And this thing jumps, you swear, 3 feet in the air. As it jumps, it's totally scared and then swings its head around trying to see what the hell did that. And it doesn't seem to understand that it's been hit in the butt because it goes, and like just, it's
too good.
thrashing around right now. Let's see if it sees you. So it does not. It absolutely does not see where that came from. So it's tromping around like really angrily right now in the middle of this clearing. You hear a strangled laugh coming from behind you.
Did the little boy like it?
Did the little boy like the butt dart? He has given no sound of indication.
Of course. Okay, so another one.
Okay, all right, do it again.
Oh, damn. Okay, so to hit, it definitely hit because it was a 19 plus 4.
Yeah.
Then another damage. Just right next to the other dart. Oh. Damn it. 5 damage.
Okay. Yep. So it again, same reaction, and it just gets so fucking furious. It is like tearing up the ground and like starting to mash at the trees with its horns. And then you hear Ranna, he like does a like makes a blowing a kiss gesture, and then suddenly from beyond the edge of the clearing, a tree just fucking like falls over with the force of a gale suddenly, and the creature just like stands to attention, and now that it's all upset, it goes charging off in that direction towards whatever made the sound. You see its butt is bleeding a little bit as it runs away.
Oh.
So it literally went charging like a ball off into that direction. So you are clear to make your way out of the cave.
Nice. She's super excited. She does like a quick little like jump and skip and then like punches Rona. Is it Rona?
Ranna. R-A-N-N-A.
Ranna, like in the arm, like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then it's like, let's go.
Like, yeah, that's one way to do it. And goes to stand up. He moves outside of the cave. And then something kind of weird happens.
Other than Bart's to the
Bart's to the butts. Darts.
Darts to the butt.
Yes. The air begins to fill with a soft breeze all of a sudden, and you hear like the tinkling of music coming from somewhere, everywhere. And you feel a slight tug like on your hand as the little boy grabs your hand and Ranna's hand and then looks meaningfully at both of you and then steps back, and the boy begins to change. You see his form elongate and stretch out to be the body of a green snake that's just sort of hovering midair, and then out of his back spreads these beautiful multicolored rainbow wings. And this thing is hovering in front of you in the air, its tail lashing back and forth, and you begin to hear a voice in both of your minds. Thank you for displaying such kindness. For freeing me, I shall give you a boon, for you have proven your hearts are noble and true. And this voice speaks to you, just sort of this ancient, like, weakly wise voice. This creature is beautiful. Yeah. Like nothing you have ever seen.
Ooh.
And it says again in your minds, ask.
Fuck. I don't know.
All right, I'll jump over and give you a chance to think about it?
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay.
Oh my god, is that Dendar? Did you just free Dendar? Is she coming for Arnie?
Definitely not Dendar. I promise. Okay, and then so I'll jump back over to the both of you. Okay, so this thing is crashing out of the forest, and we're starting with Sage. It is your turn.
Excellent. So I'm down in the southwestern corner.
So the thing is coming out from the west, so you have a clear shot of it.
Perfect. I'm gonna get you. 16. All right, and then it's a D12. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Woo! 10, 12 damage.
Okay.
And
where are you shooting it?
in the butt. No.
You have no idea where that is. It's a snake.
Who knows? It could be anywhere.
Do snakes even have butts?
Yes,
I don't know.
we established this in the Medusa episode. Yes.
Down in the cloaca.
Cloaca, chaps.
No, so she would be aiming for like the spine.
Okay. On a snake?
On the neck.
So where on its spine?
I guess in the neck, in like what would be the below the head.
Right. So both
the jugular region.
The neck where the 5 heads spring from.
Yes.
Into it. Okay. What did you get to hit? Sorry.
Oh, 16.
Okay, perfect. That does it. Okay. Oh man, this thing has a lot of HP. 6 and piercing.
And then I did 12 damage.
Oh yeah. Okay. Woo!
Approximately how far away was this thing again?
This is like 450 feet.
Okay. She's going to try and find like a rope ladder or a rope that she can throw down.
Sure. Yeah, so each of these little platforms has a rope ladder on it that you can kick off, like the exact same ones you used to climb up.
I'm just going to call it now. I have the same idea.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying.
Okay, let's see what it is. All right, so you kick down the ladder and you want to start climbing for your turn?
Yep.
Okay, so you can move 20 feet, 25, 30.
35 is my movement.
Oh yeah, you got a special thing. Okay, so you make it a little bit more than halfway down the ladder. And then Brittany.
This is why I was like, Sage, I was thinking exactly the same thing. Arnadil is going to say, fuck these minions. I'm going straight for the boss. And she's going to take off running in the direction of the this creature.
Okay. You are running towards it. It is very tall and very scary.
Do I get there in time to make a ranged spell attack?
Sure. I mean, you could probably make one from where you are. So it's about 50 feet away.
I'm going to run 30 feet.
Okay.
To fulfill my movement action, which will bring me close enough. And before I make an attack, I want to do a nature check or an arcana check to see if maybe I can exploit some kind of weakness.
Sure. So roll this check with advantage to identify what this is.
The first roll was an 18, and the second roll, oh shit, was a 23.
Okay. So this knowledge comes to you the same way it happened with the Mind Whisperers, where suddenly you just knew what this was and what it was called, and you don't know why because you've never really run into it, but you know that this thing is called an anathema, and it is essentially the closest you can get to godhood without being Dendar in the Yuan-ti pantheon. You have to do some dark, horrible shit to become one of these. Many, many sacrifices of human and snake lives, dark rituals, and so this thing has got to be leading probably all the Yuan-ti in the area.
Damn, they're pissed at you.
And you know that it has it has spellcasting capabilities, extremely hard to kill. It can shape change. It has resistance to magic.
Goddamn.
Is that it?
Because I was gonna cast Ray of Frost, considering it's a reptile, and I was like, that'll help it slow the fuck down, because they hate being cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. It has 6 heads, not 5.
Chill out.
I was wrong. It has 6 heads.
Symmetry. It's important.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Arnadil's like, my friends are threatened. She's gonna cast, oh god. Alright. She's gonna cast Eldritch Blast. Or, yeah, she's gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay, so roll to hit with your 2 beams.
That's 8. So the first beam's gonna be a 13.
That will not hit.
Didn't think so.
The snake god? No.
The second one is going to be an 11.
All right. It's like the magic just bounces off the scales, and it's so minute compared to the hugeness that is this creature, it doesn't even pay attention. Okay, and then its turn. All right, everybody within 30 feet. So that'll be, it's going to move forward. So Kara and Arnadel, I will need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Is it for being charmed or frightened?
Yes.
Which
Frightened.
one? Frightened?
I'm raging.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
I feel no fear.
Well, Kara's still out of range, right?
No, it moved forward.
Past me? Because I moved up to 30 feet of it.
Oh, yeah, it totally just moves past you.
Okay.
It doesn't see you. It's so high above you. It's not paying attention. It is completely focused on destroying this village. It stands 30 feet tall.
Okay. My wisdom save. My wisdom save was 22.
Okay, so you are fine. A wave of fear kind of passes over you, but you push it away. The elves do not do so well. So it looks like the elves on the southwest tower are kind of the only ones who managed to keep their shit together. And then a bunch of elves, you start hearing just screaming happening all around the place, and people throwing down their bows and trying to move as far away as possible as just complete chaos comes up as this wave of fear hits. So basically everybody at the northwest tower is just totally dropped their stations, not in the fight anymore, just trying to run away. Okay, and then that's just its aura. So it is going to go ahead and... Ooh. It'll just do that for now. It raises its hand, a clawed hand up, and then whispers something in some language, but it still reverberates and shakes around. Yes.
Do I know?
Yes, it says, charge. And then you see from flanking behind it, 20 more of these brood guards come out. So 10 go to the left of it and 10 go to the right of it, and they begin to run towards the trees. Yay! Okay.
Oh my god. I'm legit like real life raging. Like
this is so awful. Okay. And so let's see if the elves
can I take a quick action or free action?
What do you want to do?
Awakened mind. I'm within distance of Kara. I'm going to reach out and say, Kara, please help me take this thing down.
She says aloud, what do you think I'm trying to do, Tuts?
And then Arnadel just like, you hear the warmth of like true friendship glowing in this mental voice. And she's like, Kara, I love you to fucking pieces. Let's do this.
Oh, you guys. Okay. And then so some of the elves managed to get their shit back together, and they're just crawling around. Like some of them are getting bows, but some of them start climbing down the trees, looking like they're just gonna keep running away. And then more volleys are fired off, and this thing actually starts to sustain some damage as arrows are firing upon it. About half of them aren't doing anything, but the other half are just sticking like tiny little pin cushions in its body, but it just doesn't even seem to notice as this is happening. Okay, so here we go. All right, so the elves damage. Okay. All right, we're gonna jump back over. Nassim, have you decided what your boon from Pretty Snake is?
to be clear, boon is whatever I'm asking for. Is it a boon?
It's a favor that it can do.
Okay, well, just to see if it can do. I'd like to master another elemental attunement to help my friends in battle. An extra elemental attunement to help my friends in battle.
And the thing looks at you for a moment and then considers, I do not think I can give you what you seek directly, but I can give something that will help you for the time being. It will be temporary, though. What you ask for is not within my capabilities.
Of course. Anything you can give me, I'm very grateful for.
For your kindness, I give you this blessing, the blessings of the sky. And you feel this like burning sensation in your back all of a sudden, and like something begins to like pop out of your back, and you begin to feel as something is growing and just goes back, and you find yourself with a pair of gorgeous rainbow wings that travel all the way.
Oh my god.
Down. So wings that match what the creature had. And then Ranna experiences the same like sort of thing. So you're both standing there like, and the way it takes you a minute to get used to them because it's so heavy, like on your back, you're kind of like,
I was literally gonna ask, like, if it couldn't do that, I was gonna ask it to let me fly.
There you go. And then it nods to both of you again.
That's so cool.
My people are long remembered. This shall not be forgotten. Go in peace. And you see it glitters and takes to the skies and just sort of seems to disappear in like rainbows, like literal rainbows. It just arches off somewhere and is gone.
My god, what the fuck was that thing? Can I make a knowledge?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm dying for
this. Let's say nature.
Sure.
21.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. With your religion knowledge too, this will come up. You've only heard of these things like myth. You thought they were long extinct. But back before there were the gods we know and love today, there were old gods, and they created servants and guardians to protect their secrets. And these things were called the Quattles. And they were serpents of incredible power, shape changers, who basically, extremely lawful good, would protect the secrets of the gods and guard things and do incredible missions. They're super honorable creatures, and seeing one is just, you can't believe you just saw that.
Wow.
Oh my god, I imagine it's like the moment in Spirited Away where Kohaku gets real or the like water deity gets released out of No Face.
Yes.
Like, here you go.
After cleansing. Can we just take a moment and appreciate Celeste's fucking verbal descriptions of this creature? I am fucking alive for this.
All right, I'm going to take a quick bio break, and you guys can talk about how pretty that was.
It was beautiful.
That was fucking beautiful. What is it called? A pato?
No, Quattl. It's a Mexican or Latin American. No, fuck it, Mexican. It's from Mexico. God damn it.
Mayan.
Let me. If I try to send you a picture right now, it's gonna fuck up the whole interface of what I've got going.
Well, then just text it to me.
Oh my god. Google it.
Fine. Hey Siri. Oh, she's not listening.
Here, I got it, girl. I get it for you. Also, Sage, are we about to turn into lumberjacks and try to cut this tree in half together?
Oh man, fuck this thing. It's gonna be so dead. She's gonna cut a slit in its underbelly and then crawl inside and stab its heart.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Arnadil is going to tell you, Kara, everything that like knowledge check that I rolled. She's gonna awakened mind every detail of that information to you.
Great, because I don't want to have to make a nature check because intelligence is not my thing.
So if it's resistant to magical attacks, that means we have to just bludgeon and like melee it, right?
Probably, unless it's also resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, which could be.
The Celeste left that out. I feel like with a 22. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that was pretty high.
Yeah, that would tell me, because I said I want to try to exploit its weaknesses. So she said it's resistant to magical damage. So like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fuck it. Yeah, gonna just hack and slash.
Let's hack and slash it.
Do what I always do, Pinky.
Cause take over the world. Cause some of the arrows are sinking into its stupid fleshy hide.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're having this conversation through awakened mind and you yelling back.
Right. Space Hamster Boo says magic resistance is saving throws get advantage, which I did not know. I thought it was that they would take half damage from spells.
Well, there's two different types of magical resistance.
You're right.
I did learn this because of my pseudo dragon. I was having a lovely conversation, one of many lovely conversations with Ted from Nerd Immersion, and he was like, there's different types of magical resistance, and it gets a little convoluted because the manual does not necessarily separate those. You just have to be aware of exactly what type you're talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
Super off topic, but Sage, I literally tonight before we got on the stream bought my tickets to Indianapolis.
Nice! That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. Brittany said that they were really cheap right now, so I hopped on it.
Ooh, I should get on that shit. I will do that tomorrow. It's killing me because I applied for this internship at Brown University to teach math to underprivileged kids over the summer.
Wow.
And they still haven't told me whether or not they want me to do that. And I'm like,
when are you supposed to find out?
The deadline closed February 28th, so I feel like it should be soon.
Okay.
Okay. Is everybody cool if we go like 15 late?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Brittany just sent me a picture of the quattle. It's fucking beautiful.
Isn't it?
It is beautiful. They're incredible. Okay. So wings sprout out of your back. And then Arnadil and Kara are facing off against this thing. And it is at that moment that things get a little bit weirder.
Oh,
all of a sudden, Arnadil, you feel this blinding pain in your left hand. And as you look down, it's like it's on fire as you're looking at it. And you see, the sigil of the Sisters of Sorrow begins to like smoke and steam on your hand. And you see that it just like lights up in fire and then burns away completely.
What?
Leaving just a pale patch on your palm where it once was. And you feel something changes. Something leaves you. You no longer have your gift of the future. And both of you, Kara, when this happens to you, you are halfway down a rope bridge. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and take 3d6 falling damage.
Ooh.
Oh my fucking god.
So, Arnadil, you see Kara. Okay, that's 15 bludgeoning. You see Kara just goes limp, rigid, and drops off of the ladder and just is on the ground, prone. And Sawyeh, the last thing you hear is, "Are you all?" And as Ranna is saying something concerned, And then Kara and Sawyeh, you find yourself standing in a cushy parlor surrounded by overstuffed chairs, tables.
I know this place.
And the sisters are looking at all of you as you're standing in the middle of this lounge. We are so sorry for interrupting, dears. Could we offer you some tea? We need to have a chat.
Kara is still... She's still holding the bow. I imagine she's still holding the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's holding the bow and she's running around the room like battle crazed. Not registering where she is at all, like running around the chairs. Like,
you keep running into like shit on the floor because it's overstuffed.
Painting on the wall and like just like almost like a hurt animal that's like.
And one of the sisters, you can't tell which one, has a little teacup and just goes and watches you until you kind of tire yourself out. And then. And for you, dear, would you like any tea? Talking to you, Sawyeh, while Kara is doing her laps around the room.
No, I'm okay. She's looking around trying to see if she sees Arnadel.
Arnadel is not in the room.
Interesting.
I try to like grab a hold of Kara and be like, "You're here. It's you." And like she hugs her.
Kara's eyes get super wide and her pupils like dilate and then get very small, and you finally see her eyes focus on you. It's like, okay, I know this fucking place. It's about time they told us what the fuck's up. She like jumps.
Yes, we do apologize. It has been quite a while since we have reached out, and unfortunately, we are in a situation and cannot wait any longer. You see, your companion, Arnadel, is in grave danger.
Danger? What kind of danger?
Well, you might have noticed, we were not able to bring her here. Something has severed her connection to us. Do you know anything about the source of your companion's power? Has she explained it to you?
Well, so when this Karen, I mean, you're like deities of fear or whatever, you don't know. And Kara's like, cranes, like her eyebrow like cranes upward, like, what? Well, I don't even understand. But then
dear, we do know. We were hoping we wouldn't have to explain it to you. But we can dive right into it if you feel you are properly prepared with all the knowledge to have this conversation.
Well, because Sawyeh wasn't there, Kara fills in Sawyeh. So, the snake people showed up and they're like, Arnie, you owe us a debt. And Arnie's like, what? I don't understand. And she goes on and like recaps the situation to you.
Yes. In a word or two, the nature of her magic, it comes from a compact with a creature, a particularly nasty one, a creature by the name of Dendar. And we believe that if Dendar has not already sent measures to come and collect your companion...
Oh, they did. And she said no thank you.
Oh. Yes, well, that was probably a wise answer, but you have to understand, something must have changed for Dendar, for she has called in the contract, so to speak.
So who's this Dendar chick?
A being of great and terrible power, not of this plane, even. She is certainly a nasty one, and we fear as long as your companion remains attached to her, bound to her, well, Dendar will not stop, as long as your companion is tied to her. So we have to come up with another option.
Kara immediately dislikes Arnadel and thinks she's a two-timing, two-faced bitch.
Whoa.
Sorry, boo.
I told you everything.
Sawyeh interjects and is like, "Oh, I don't know if she knows that this is happening. What can we do to sever this attachment?"
I see. Well, Dendar has called in this contract, I suppose, is the best way to say it. But if your companion is to survive this, something else must take possession of that contract. You see, the source of Arnadel's power and what she is dependent on it. She cannot simply go back to what she was before. So we must enlist the help of something bigger to take on that contract, if you understand what I mean.
So we gotta find someone else for her to get her powers from?
Yes, actually, that's a very good way to put it. And we have someone who might be interested. It won't be pleasant, and there are no guarantees, but we feel we are out of options. We must impress upon you the importance of saving Arnadel in this. Those patterns that we saw earlier, this is her thread. And one of the sisters holds up their hands, and this winding string appears. And last time you saw it, it was in this gold kind of shining pattern in the middle. And as she holds it and pulls it taut between her fingers, it seems to vanish and grow dark. And then this wisp of curling smoke, like a small snake, goes and just evaporates into the air. And the sister puts her hands down. It is imperative that the three of you survive this. For if you do not survive, the tapestry itself will fail. Do you understand?
Yeah. Who do you have in mind to take over the contract?
And the sisters look at each other, and then they all grasp hands, and they speak in unison in this kind of voice that's multifaceted and you recognize as a voice of prophecy. And they say to you, travel deep into the wilds to find the gate. You must bring the knife that cuts through veils and shed the blood of the raven's kin to pass into the valley of death.
Fuck.
Your time here is running short, my dears.
Kara leans back and crosses her arm and like leans against one of the overstuffed chairs. And she says, "All right. I get that we got to get her to survive. 'Cause fate of the universe and all that. But does she still need to be in the Sisters of Sorrow? 'Cause I mean, you know, if whoever we're going to, who's got to do with ravens or birds or whatnot, I'm sensing a bird theme. If we gotta go to her, and then she's trying to call in her contract, then we just gotta go find the next bigger outer planar creature. Is she really worth the time and invest? If I was in charge, I'd kick her out because she seems like a liability."
The sister who's kind of been leading the charge sort of hangs her head and nods gravely. Fate chooses who it uses. We do not dictate who is important in the weaving. The weaving tells us who is important. Arnadel must survive this. True, as her contract passes along, this may only buy her decades of time, perhaps even years. But we must make the effort. It is of grave importance. Please, all of us depend on the two of you to see this through.
Kara nods her head solemnly and in agreement, but with a hint of reluctance and skepticism.
Sawyeh wants to aggressively elbow you in the side to be like
that's fine.
He's our fucking friend. Like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Like, yeah, of course. We will make sure she's okay and she'll survive this contract transition thing.
That is all we ask. The road ahead will not be an easy one, but it is imperative. Now you must go. Our power grows weak as the weaving grows weak. I do not know how much further assistance we will be to you until this is done. farewell. And just like that, Kara, you wake up, you are sprawled on your back in the middle of this battle that's been going on, and Sawyeh, you have hit the deck and you've fallen on one of your wings, and it's like ouchy because you're like, like you didn't know falling on wings is not something you've ever had to do before. And so the two of you are there, and Arnadel, you see just as quickly as Kara passed out, Kara is like springing back up into action. And I think we're gonna leave it there for this episode.
No! Ah!
You said 15 minutes passed.
Well, I mean, we got there. We did what I needed to do. All right, that's it for the evening. Another episode of the Venture Maidens.
Whew.
And this one was a biggie. So thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for this episode of the Venture Maidens podcast. I have been your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich. Brittany doesn't want to talk.
Speechless elf.
I am your elven warlock, Arnadel Ithil, played by Brittany.
Oh. And I'm Nassim playing Sawyeh Noor, your now flying monk.
What?
And I have been your skeptical dwarf, Kara, in my sage.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And I mean, we're going to have our little chat, but then we'll be over in after hours to talk to you all about that Bananas McGee episode. So thank you, everybody.
After hours.
After hours. And you know what you should do until next time? You should venture away. Venture away, everybody. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Adios.
Bye.
Good night. Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen, pineapple.